I'll probably just do it. I'll probably just do it, right? Because it's not 180 pulls free to play. That's also taking into account like Welkin too. So I don't know. Let's wait and see. Anyway, so do you know what happened up until this point? Have you been paying attention? You probably haven't, because Ace Attorney is one of those games you can put on in the background. So what happened was, we are in the second half of TGAA. In the first game, we're some dude. Our friend is a lawyer in training. He had to go to England for some diplomatic thingy. He dies. So I replace my friend as the lawyer. I go through a couple of cases. I fight against this prosecutor who hates Japanese for some reason. And we end off on a cliffhanger. There's some big giant conspiracy situation going on, but we have no details on it. That he seems to be I don't want to say continental. What is inter? Is it? I guess intercontinental, right? Between two continents. Between Britain and Japan. I don't know what's going on here. Something corrupt is going on. And now in the second game, I am the judicial assistant who's a woman who shouldn't be in court according to this culture's laws. So I have to cosplay as a man to defend my friend who was accused of murdering the person that I found guilty in the first game, who killed a friend of mine's dad. There you go. All right, so that's where we're at. She is I think medical, what is she? Is a medical, what is a medical forensic medicine, something like that. And there was like some poison that was in the lab that they were developing for the military. And then she stole it from the lab. And we think that she got stabbed with that poison and she died instantly because of her autopsy report. There is a photographer who has damning evidence that we did it, right? But in order for this shot to have even been taken, how were they there at the right time? You know what I mean? It's the same person who was at the university doing the interview as well. So what are they doing? What's going on? Did we just start? We're at part 2. We're at part 2. I think you can like pick yourself up. Oh, hi, Albie. I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin. Right. I mean, for the stream? Oh, yeah, we're good. You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone. No, that's not it at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I hope to retrieve the substance from the Englishwoman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt on your mind about my innocence, that you'd stand by me to the last? I remember. And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I hid important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith. Hit me, Susato. I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me into the floor. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the city streets. The city streets? Wait, what did you say to me? The city streets? Wait, hold on. Sorry, what? Sorry, what? Wait, hold on. Where's that part at? Where's it at? Sorry. That might be a little bit too posh. My bad. All right, anyway, what? What? Would you consider playing through No Straight Roads? I don't know what it is, but the soundtrack is really good. Let's see. High five. What's this game? The Great Ace Attorney. It's good. I don't know what it's about, but I like the music, which is already like 33% of reasons why I like games. So I was like, I'm no better, you know. Oh. Even though in my heart I knew that you pulled the knife blade from Miss Britt's back, there was just a brief moment where, in my mind, I doubted you. Susato, I'm sorry. After I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side, I betrayed your faith in me, too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. Oh, no, no, no. I think the situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task. Yes, Father, that fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see more clearly now. So, Ray? Yes? Can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant, dashing lawyer in my eyes now. Oh, Ray. I was scared, you know, when it happened. I didn't know what was going on. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet. Before collapsing on the floor in front of me, with a knife in her back. I mean, she just got stabbed through the... It's very easy to assume to me that this dude, photographer dude, stabbed her in the back from this little gap right here using this knife, and he took a picture. Right? Right? That's kind of the assumption, right? It all happened right before my eyes, and you were the only people in the hut at the time? That's right, just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So I just don't understand how she could have possibly been stabbed like that. A great mystery indeed. I still can't believe it happened. That's why I couldn't bring myself to speak up. It'll be all right. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you said you saw is true. Spoken like a true Mikitoba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order. Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the upcoming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized blend of alkaloids. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see. Yes, without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin. Chemical reagent? I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to the police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. The chemical reagent has entered into the court record. No Straight Roads is an action-adventure game with loosely rhythm-based content, not quite Hi-Fi Rush rhythm-based. But I know you have a lot of games on your plate. Put it in the suggestion box. Let's take a look. Chemical reagent. Here's the stopper. What is it called? The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know. It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be able to help here, I'm afraid. Couldn't you just written it medicine in Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it. German is the international language of medicine, my dear. Is it? Wait, is it? Is it? Wait a minute, that's fascinating. Is German the international language of medicine? English is the current leading lingua franca of medicine. As the beginning of the 20th century, medical science still uses 3 languages to rough extent: German, French, and English. The turn to English, which took place at different speeds in different areas since the middle of the last century, has put an end to linguistic confusion and is thus to be welcomed from a worldwide perspective as a positive instance of globalization. There are nonetheless some negative consequences for scientific culture outside the US English or the English-speaking world. This article will deal with the extent of the secular trend towards English. Oh, this is such an interesting fucking premise, actually. Oh, wow. That's a great article idea. Wow. When was this made? This was made when? Let's take a look. This was made... 2008? Yeah, that's a fantastic topic, actually. Wow. Wow, okay. So during this so during this time period, German was the dominant one. Right, okay. So when did it go from French to German? That's weird. I want pizza. Anyway, but yes, I can certainly see the merit of labeling the bottle in Japanese. Hi, Clarice! Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate. Is there anything else in here? Is there anything I can expect here? The stopper? The back of the... No. Is there anything else I can expect with this? Congrats, like having a whole another franchise named after you. I know, right? What the heck? I guess I got it like that. Yeah, there's nothing suspicious about this. Anyway, what's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet. What does it say? A special indicator solution for a new poison under development by my father's team. It's been created in strict secrecy and exists only in my father's laboratory. What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet. It's this newspaper article. Exclusive, deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret. It was all that English woman's doing. What? It was when the professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady swanned in and without any compunction said to Professor Mikitoba, "Oh, Professor, surely your guest would love to hear about your work on that substance there." It put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Soseki-sans, don't fucking call her Emily, I swear to God. Some of those beta designs, like, Mew was saying it too, some of those beta designs, just making a whole fucking new character, okay? I don't want to see those concept arts, just kind of make me mad. I'm like, just make it a new character, because I'm like, that is so ugly. Yeah, Emily, like, ew, I don't know what that is, ew. Anyway, so Soseki-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had a little choice but to give him a cursory introduction. So then Soseki-san knew about the poison. Yes, and it's highly likely that the reporter that was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too. This Mini Mimo-san. By the way, did that reporter join you all when you went to the beach? Oh no, I don't remember the reporter being there. Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there. Oh, a known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointing that out. Oh, wait. Saseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so he sent the man back to his office. But he has a tendency to show up uninvited, right? Some of those hairs were beautiful. Yeah, some of the hair was good. I agree. He obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. And then presumably he posted it anonymously to the police. Yes, that must be what happened. Are we openly thirsting after this mustache, or are we keeping it classy and demure? I honestly don't want to look at the screen when he's staring at me because it gets me overwhelmed with nervous and blushy feelings. So I'm just gonna avert eye contact whenever he's on screen, okay? Counsel, we just heard the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed to the courtroom at once. It's time to steal ourselves once again then. Defense attorney Ryutaro Naruhodo. Ray has put her faith in me now and told me everything, so I can't let her down. I have to prove what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove what really happened that day. No, just like, who's the one that just is it Yu Sheng-guang with her like with her him not smiling is not helping. That's what I'm saying. Like, ugh. And he's a dad too? I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene and continue the trial of Ray Mimbami. Professor Auchi, have you summoned the new witness? Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share. Oh? What news? And why does he look so happy about it? During recess, with the collaboration of Professor Mikitoba's laboratory at Yuma University, the police re-examined the knife that was used to end Miss Giselle Brett's life, which means it should have fingerprints on it, right? Excellent. I admire your rapid handling on the matter. Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course. I had the reagent delivered to the police headquarters by rickshaw, so it would be there in good time. But judging by the man's swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable. And counsel, what were the results? This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no traces of poison anywhere along its blade. What? Are you sure about that? I would stake the reputation of the police on it. Armed with the reagent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. The murder weapon has been entered into the court record, and I will be inspecting. Okay, what do we got here? Ah, yes, this must be the victim's blood. Oh dear. Blood is never a pretty sight, is it? I'm having to fight the urge to run and hide under a hot tap to have it cleaned. You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you? I think this is something else, Father. Is there nothing else about this? Oh my god, the Spider-Man review? Yeah. With a black man swagger. What? What? Happy Black History Month. What? Yeah, there's nothing else here. I can't really read it. Anyway, in short, the accused's feeble excuse earlier has been utterly destroyed. Oh, girl, get up. Now, the prosecution is ready to call the new witness. The newspaper reporter who managed to capture a photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness. No traces of poison on the knife. But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body? I already know! Does anyone else know how, or have an idea how it happened? I have an idea. I already know. I mean, I don't know, but I have an idea. I still think she took a sip. I still think she took a sip, right? What they should do is test the stain here. I really want some pizza. I want pizza, but sometimes I feel bad about delivery because it's just like, damn, I don't want to like inconvenience you. I'm sorry. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll eat, I don't know, a grapefruit in the fridge or something. It's fine. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Writing many memos. Writing many memo of Show You News. I'm what people like to call a giorno? Giorno? What's a giorno, father? Do you know? Oh, I know something. Let's take a look. What is this symbol? And why was this symbol? What is this symbol here? And if this pen is in her hand right now, why is that same symbol? He's kind of cute, actually. On his, what's going on? What's a journal, father? You know, it's simply a contraction of journalist. Yeah, that symbol there. Yeah, it matches this, right? So why does this match? And why does she have the pen? I don't know. I don't know. It's a little suspicious. I'm there when news breaks, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops when they're in print the next morning. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing. The nice guy of news. Oh, so, it was you who took this photograph, wasn't it? Well, what do we have here? I'm sorry? Oh, brace yourselves, people. Minnie Momo sits as a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play, defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The breeders will lap this up. That is a very interesting word choice. We'll set it. Sorry. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point and a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Huh? Right then. Let's start with your name. Well, it's Ryotaro Naruhodo. Next, what made you want to become a lawyer? I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose. Ryotaro has suddenly become very ambitious, I see. I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while. By the way, the name is Takasuchi Auchi. The so-called dark horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart. No, the breeders won't buy that. Oh. Oh. What? Witness. The avalanche. Yes? What this court demands is to know whether the picture or whether the you blah, 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 is to know whether you. Sorry. What the court demands to know is whether or not you were responsible for taking this picture. It was delivered anonymously to the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't be a journo if I didn't click quick when presented with a scoop like that, now would I? Sometimes stories call out to me. Sometimes I have to chase them down. But either way, you've got to be fast. Fast legs to run with, and a fast hand to write with. It's no good if you don't note it down, I always say. That's what I call a mini-memoism. A mini-memoism. Ah, yes, I remember your face. We met the day when you were interviewing myself and Soseki-san. Yes, right, that was me, Mini Momo again. But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoyu News office after our meeting. But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that Englishwoman's words have piqued my journalistic interest. Miss Brett's words. A criminal left to do what she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse dong. This country's judiciary is rotten to the core. The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're written on. The police aren't just imperial pawns. Stay your tongue, young man. These are complex political issues at play. Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my mini memo pad. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right, here goes. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's coasts. A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story so I can hammer her into the press. Do you mean to say that you did witness it firsthand? The grim scene portrayed in this photograph? Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journal eyes. You know what? I also think that given his aggression here, this could be a motive, right? From the start to finish, from start to finish through the viewfinder of my trusty camera. Thank you, Mini Momo-san. You will give a formal statement to the court. You will state exactly what it is you witness of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death. All right, who's ready to pay attention? The camera never lies. The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens. There was plenty of gaps that I could see through. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames, quick as a flash. Let's move! I whipped out my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough weave with one of the screens and poked the lens through for the perfect shot. Read screens, you say? Right. You can see them clearly through that great shot I snapped. The hut walls were just screens made of coarsely woven reeds. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and bring some relief from the summer heat. And it was a breeze for me to poke my camera through and see the whole thing hotting up, ignoring for the time being the appalling invasion of privacy involved. Did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. Oh, You saw the whole thing from start to finish. That's a good one. And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens. Luckily for me, they were pretty shoddily woven. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. would I get away with it? Or would I be seen? It was the gamble of a lifetime. The tenacity of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose. Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's mini memoism in a nutshell. At last, it would appear that we have a genuine witness to the wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict. No. Wonderful news, Your Excellency. Wonderful. Nevertheless, it cannot be denied that testimony begs one very large question. What question? Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. So why did he report it anonymously? Why then was the story never published? Oh, that's right. It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah. One second. Okay. Oh, shit. It seems clear to me that there are circumstances here at play here that are yet to be understood. More pathetic excuses. Very well then, counsel. Proceed with your cross-examination. Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest. And we're gonna find out after I bring in groceries. After I bring in groceries. That was my mom. She has groceries. So, all right, yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Ugh. Okay. Groceries are blocked in. Groceries are blocked in. I've got a Rice Krispie and 4 string cheeses, and that will do absolutely nothing to satiate my appetite. How many of y'all eat as much as I do? Low key, I feel like I want like 2,800 calories a day or something. That's probably how much I should eat, but I don't. Okay. Cheese. Okay, good. It's okay. The string cheese is like a percentage of a pizza. I think my mom got fish and chicken instead, which I didn't fucking grab. Am I stupid? It's fine. I'll do it later. Okay. Ready? Don't get started. Don't even get started with string. Have you been watching Angela? Don't get started with string theory. Okay. All right. Like scam theory. The camera never lies. Let's begin. The beach hut was made of shoddy old reed screens. Yeah, hold it. What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place? Call it journal instinct. Can you think of a better reason? Privacy? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because, as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman. I see where you're going with this. Brace yourself, people. He's painting the journal as a voyeur. That's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without a woman's knowledge. Nope, you got it all wrong, little student boy. Sorry? To my mind, all there was inside that hut was a scoop. Nothing more and nothing less. The scoop's no gender. Man or woman, it's all news. That's not even mini minimalism. That's just basic journalism. If only the courtroom was just as indiscriminate. Oh. Right, so, if that's all buttoned up, can we move on? Tell the court then, witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut? A sight that vindicated my journal instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it as clear as day. The Englishwoman was sitting on a stool when her student girl came in and started arguing with her. Yeah, hold it. About what? So you actually saw Mimbami-san entering the hut? Yep. And she was raging like my journal spirit. And the argument you mentioned, what was it about exactly? You stole it. I didn't steal it. That kind of thing. Talking about the poison, I suppose. The student girl walked up to the Englishwoman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs. The man should have been an author. His descriptive talents are wasted on journalism. Oh my god. This fucking side profile. That man should have been an author. His fucking face. But the student's rantings fell on deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time. He really ought to work on his similes, though, to be honest. Anyway, the point is that woman on the dock was mightily angry. And her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me. Which was the climactic moment that I caught on film. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the Englishwoman on to the floor as she stabbed her in the back.
Hold it!
Hold it. Do you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place? Ha! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out from start to finish. Oh, thank you! That's exactly what I need. Oh, this guy. Oh, the prosecution is a sweetheart. Oh, that is, oh my God, that is exactly what I needed. Because, like, okay. Again, listen to me. How do you argue with somebody? Like, look at the footsteps, right? How do you stab somebody in the back when talking from the front? Like, if I'm bitching at you, okay? If I'm bitching at you for not subscribing, like, and I stab you, right? Like, we're arguing face to face. How am I gonna stab you in the back? Especially when there's nothing behind you. There's a wall behind you. How did the knife enter? Like, what did I do? Did I just get my, like, fucking long ass arms and I was just like, give me a hug? Oh my God. Oh, Ace. It's fine. Like, it was like, oh, viewer that I don't have a parasocial relationship with, give me a hug. And it's like, oh, okay. And like, this is the knife. And so I just like, oh, that'll teach you to not subscribe. So, unless they hugged, this doesn't make sense. Right? Still don't know how we haven't gotten to that point, right? Yeah. Okay. I have a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could use it to explain to the court exactly what you witnessed. Yeah, buddy. Right you are. It's all here in my mini memo pad. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that English woman was on this stool at the back of the hut there. Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that. She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what she noted down. It's my turn to testify now. Try not to interrupt. Ugh. Then at the next moment I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The Englishwoman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of the way. What? 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 So instead of me going for a hug, what happened was, so are you gonna give some subs or not? And you said, you big tall bitch, and you tried to hit me, and then I said, not so fast. Huh! And I stabbed you. All right. Yeah, that's what All right. Who attacks somebody with a knife? What you describe as a grim scene indeed. Never the sugarcoat truth. They never sugarcoat the truth. That's what Minimalism says. Bro, why is she trying to not laugh? Why is she speeding? Why is she speed laughing? Me when I know the contradiction. Anyway, by the way, Mini Momo-san, while you were watching through that that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap on the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capture on film? Journos have to be observers. We can't get involved. That is our Raison Detour. Can somebody look up what this is? A raison detour, reason to live. So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all? Obviously not. An observer always remains on the outside looking in. And that's something to be proud of, isn't it? This is like my favorite pose in the game. I don't know, what is this emote? Does anyone know what this emotion is? But it's like my favorite. It's so good. Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor? I think the witness's last expertly phrased statement should perhaps be added to his formal testimony. Father, what do you... I will grant the defense's request. Minimomo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with the affirmation statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of Minimomoism, but I'll gladly prove that my words aren't meaningless. And Acheron, hold on. Hmm. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the Englishwoman. I was only there as an observer. You know what? I'm gonna let that statement slide. Hold it! Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that? I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to the breaking point already. Oh, I see. You were scared? Maybe I did have the wrong impression of you, yes? That is such a good pose. It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady to snap the shot. You really should have summoned help before thinking of your camera. Minimoism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time in these instances, Minimoism comes out on top. Ha. As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that is spot on. Surely he's making this all up. He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If that's true, his testimony is devastating. But it doesn't seem as though he's holding something back. Or it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it? If that's how you feel, I suggest that you trust your instincts and press him on everything he said. As you've no doubt seen many times before as a judicial assistant. Right? Like, isn't she like stunning? Why does she have this pen? You would think you'd have to find something that would connect him to being inside the hut, right? And the only thing that I'm seeing that could connect him to being inside the hut, like the contradiction, right, would be either this pen or the photo, right? So I'll try this.
Objection!
Minimomo-san, until now, I've had a firm belief that newspapers are businesses of uncovering and publishing the truth. You're spot on there. The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyu News on my arm. In that way, that's more Minimomoism. Sadly, though, it seems that the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth. What are you suggesting with those recriminatory words? What the fuck is recriminatory? Wait, hold on. That's good. Wait a minute. Recriminatory? Recriminatory. What an adjective.
Recriminatory.
Oh my God, what a wonderful adjective. I've got to steal that. Involving or the nature of mutual accusations or counter accusations. His habit of rendering love in terms of recriminatory bickering. Oh, boy, that's good. Countering one charge with another. Fascinating. Okay, so that's what gays do, yes. Mini Memo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen? This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murder victim was gripping it in her hand as she died. If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner's initials are engraved there. RM. Thank you for bringing that up, Counsel. The initials of the accused, Ray Mimbani. Is that a coincidence, I wonder? That your initials are also RM? Why did she Rose like why did she Right in Mini Momo, RM. That's horse dong. Can't you see? That's one of the central tenets of Mini Momoism is being a pencil user. And yet, the court will clearly see on your right hand, there's a very obvious blue ink stain. It would appear that you must have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen? That is. Horsey horse dong. Mini Memo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett in that beach hut?
Objection!
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense? It's nothing but another excuse. Exactly. Show You News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with the initials RM as there are bright stars in the sky. You know what I think? I think the news that she brought was so devastating, she got fucking clocked. The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky. And there's no need anyway. Why is she such a baddie? Look at her! What? And there's no need anyway. Because this pen has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who his owner really is. In that case, counsel, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies. Of course, Your Excellency. The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is this emblem right here. Hi, Beyonce. Oh.
Got it!
As well as the initials, there is another emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem, of course, you will recognize, Mini Memo-san. Goodness me. It's the emblem of the Show You News. In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Show You News, whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, Mini Memo-san, how do you respond? Order, order! Explain yourself, witness. Oh. So, this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets? I've used nothing but honest tactics. All right then, fine. I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that grim tragedy unfolded. I show you a news reporter on behalf of the public conducted an interview of the Englishwoman. An interview? You never mentioned this before. What exactly was this? As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. It couldn't have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes. It was all. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing. And as we many minnowists say, the people don't pay dues. Wait, what? The people don't pay their dues for unworthy news. However insignificant you deem it to be, this court cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under the oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Got it. Yes. All right. But on one condition. Condition? Officer Bailiff, get him, please. Condition? Right. Condition. In all good consciousness, or in all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witness, Soseki Natsumi-san. Soseki? Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. Embrace yourselves. It's not a harmless one. It's big. What? The minimalism states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story. Very well. I will grant the... He has a big secret, huh? It's big. It's big. Officer! Mm-hmm. They should make out. The witness's secrets. I asked the Englishwoman for an interview, but she declined. So I left the hut without making a fuss. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed, and the other witness came running. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse. So, he ran up to fetch some help. That's when this writer man here asks the woman a very significant question. But he didn't say anything about that in his testimony, which is why minimalism demands that I reveal it now. You mean to say that the victim regained consciousness? Well, what do you mean, What do you mean, what? And when she did you decided to ask her a question? That's, true, yes. He did. And that's not all. The woman gave him a definitive answer. The answer that incriminates the accused. This is preposterous. Why am I only hearing about this now? Why didn't you mention this before, you yokel hack? It wasn't even a conversation. Yes, I did pose the withering English rose a question. I don't deny it. But she could no longer speak. She was barely conscious even. If somebody fucking asked me some stupid shit while I'm fucking dying, I'm about to leave this earth. I have my one chance on this earth with my one life, and it's about to go away for the rest of eternity, and you're gonna ask me some stupid shit while I'm dying. Oh my. You're gonna ask me some stupid shit. Like, can I get some medical attention? Counsel for the defense, I expect a thorough cross-examination to be conducted here. The court must and will know the truth. Absolutely, Your Excellency. The reporter is claiming that Miss Brett implicated Ray somehow. What on earth could have happened in that hut? Is there gonna be a stream tonight? Right, what's the password? I asked the English woman for an interview, but she declined, so I left the hut without making a fuss. Yeah, hold it. You asked her for an interview, you say? Well, of course I did. I wanted to ask her about the incident she was involved in at the end of last year. About the case in which Dr. John H. Wilson lost his life. That's not the way I phrased it. Mini minimalism calls for straight talking. Why did you murder Dr. Wilson, is how I put it to her. Yes, that sort of talking is as straight as the ruler, or as a ruler. Ask every question as if you're asking for a menu in a restaurant, I say. It's the best way. A veteran at the paper taught me that. And how did Miss Brett answer? With one simple phrase. Mystery is a woman's charm. Whew, that told me. So I waltzed right out of there. Really? Something about that doesn't seem to fit together. Leave every room as if you're waltzing in a dance hall, I say. That's the best way. Hi, Odds. A veteran at the paper taught me that. Then, watching secretly from outside, I saw the woman being stabbed and the other witnesses come running.
Hold it!
That was very persistent of you, considering that Miss Brett had just turned you away. Persistence wins the prize. Any mini minimalist will tell you that. Let them think that you've left. Then just when they lower their guard, that's when you swoop in for the scoop. And the fruits of your labor are all too apparent in this telling photograph. Though I'm sure the young Yoko student would rather not be reminded of this damning evidence. Actually, it's thanks to that photograph that we managed to identify this witness. And now that you found me, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I've got nothing to hide. I'm sure. This fucking she is so bad. Oh my god. Stop, she's so bad. Wait. Oh, she's actually so bad. Oh my god. Like, oof. Please go ahead, witness. The court is eager to hear what you have to say. Try to stop me. There's a story to tell here, and I'm going to tell it. The detective realized that the victim still had a pulse, so he ran off to fetch help. Hold it! And Suseki-san remained behind the hut. That's right, yep. Our author friend here was a blabbering wreck, shaking all over from his head to his toes. Mustache twitching, eyes bulging. What do you expect? You don't know the terrifying troubles that taunted me while it's traveling abroad. Back behind baleful bars, they'll be coming for me, surely. That's all I could think. I felt as though I were gasping for air, drowning in a sea of cold sweat. Poor Soseki-san, his experiences in London have scarred him deeply. As the world seemed to close in around me, I quietly recited a prayer to Amida Buddha. Eternal emptiness. Empty eternity. The end is coming for me, surely. No sutras are to resound in my courtroom, please. And now, we come to the crucial part. That's when it happened. That's when this writer man here asked the woman a very significant question. Yeah, hold it. What question? What exactly did he say? Well now, you should hear that from the horse's mouth, I think. Don't you, Mr. Writer Man? Ugh. Out with it, you yokel hack. What did you say to her? What did you say to the dying Englishwoman? Well, in truth, I've been catching crabs at the water's edge and building castles in the sand, you see. Well, the seaside is a place to be at leisure, I suppose, even for a grown man. But then all of a sudden, from that little beach hut, a young girl's panic-stricken cries for help pierced the air. Ray, I ran up to the beach to see what was happening, to find the defendant leaning over the collapsed victim. As soon as Inspector Hasanaga saw Miss Brett on the ground, he sprinted up to go get help. And then, just a moment later, I heard a faint moan. A moan from the Englishwoman. Sorry. I nearly jumped out of my skin. But what did you ask her, Soseki-san? I asked her, who did this to you? Well, don't protract this any longer. How did the woman respond? She didn't. She said nothing in response. But when in the stand, you will answer the questions asked of you unambiguously now, without invasion or retin. What the fuck is that? Retent. Oh, that's a new one. Okay. That is reticence. That's a new one.
Reticence.
Reticence. The quality of being reticent, reserve. Okay. The traditional emotional reticence of the British. Interesting. Restraint. Okay. Reticence. Okay, so without evasion or reticence, I demand that you amend your testimony. I will. Hi, plumber. I asked her who did this to you, but she never replied. Hold it. So you tried to find out who the culprit was. He who asks a question is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever. And having been labeled a criminal twice in my time in Great Britain, I was quick to make up my mind. Better to be a fool for a minute than remain a fool in prison forever. However, you've indicated that victim... Wait. You've indicated that victim... What? You've indicated that the victim failed to respond. Is that correct? I know why. I know why the Englishwoman said nothing. She was ignoring me because of my stupid mustache, because I'm Japanese. Oh dear. Soseki-san really has developed a dislike for the English, it seems. Wait, this mug? When does he ever look like this? He's 33. Yeah, wait, what is this mug? Wait a minute, he's never looked like this ever. What the fuck is this mug? What? He has never looked like this. What? Right, like what? Oh, he's hot. Interesting. I was hi, Sparks. Having read the report on his time in Great Britain, I can't say I'm surprised at his xenophobia. But the Englishwoman didn't ignore you at all, did she, Mr. Writerman? Well, yes. All right. She did respond in a manner of speaking, I suppose. She just lifted a trembling finger and pointed in the direction of the defendant.
Hold it!
Miss Brett pointed a finger at the defendant? Soseki-san, is that really true? It's not easy to stand here and say this, but when we first entered the beach hut, the Englishwoman was sprawled out on the floor before us, with the girl standing on the far side of her. And when I asked who did this to you, the Englishwoman summoned her last ounce of strength to point a trembling finger at the back of the hut. Oh, well, that's fine. Oh, well, then that just like, who else was at the back of the hut? Right? Like, wasn't there somebody else who was at the back of the hut? Yeah, that's like, oh, that's, yeah, what the fuck? Which was, it can't be denied, the direction of the student girl who stands accused today. No. So Seki-san, why on earth, why the fuck did you neglect to mention this in your original testimony? But fiddlesticks, I say. This is not a British court of law. You will respond in Japanese. That's so funny, wait! Oh my god! Oh my god, where's it at? Why did the judge, where's it at?
Why is she speaking to us in Chinese now?
Yes, of course. The Englishwoman did point her finger towards the back of the hut, but I was trembling, and she was trembling, and everything was a blur. And thinking about it, I feel as though perhaps she was pointing in a slightly different direction. Actually, no, not slightly. It was a very different direction to where the student girl was standing. Somewhere to the back of the hut where nobody was standing at all. And there we go, guys. Watashi wa moshi moshi desu. Well, thank you so much for the foreign statement, Plumber. I appreciate it. End of streak. You mean that your memory of events and the direction in which the victim was pointing are both unclear? Yes, that's it. Unclear. I am very, very unclear. Your Excellency, surely this proves the matter beyond all reasonable doubt. Yes, the woman may barely have been conscious. And yes, perhaps her finger wavered slightly. But there can be no doubt that this was an attempt by the victim to confirm the identity of her assailant. Why? Because as the court can see, there was no one other than the accused in the direction the victim was pointing. It is now abundantly clear that no one besides the accused could possibly have committed this crime. I am inclined to agree. And in the absence of any credible argument to the contrary, I believe we can now conclude this trial. No. No! The headline's writing itself. Dashing lawyer's hopes dashed. 92 point across the whole page. We'll do an extra edition. This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless we are we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling and the trial will be over. But that's impossible, Father. We don't even know how the crime was even committed yet. Impossible, though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must think back over everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all these details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need. Ray gave us her account of all the events unfolded in the defendant's antechamber before the trial resumed. She told us what happened at the precise moment Miss Brett was killed. The Englishwoman was sitting at the back of the hut. Sitting! Listening to what I was saying. And then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet before collapsing on the floor in front of me with a knife in her back. How could Miss Brett have been stabbed in the back in a beach hut that was empty for herself? Is everybody here stupid? Is everybody here stupid? Like, just... Is everybody here dumb? Like, was everyone here stupid? Okay, come on. Somewhere amid the information we've gathered so far, there must be an answer to that question. I'll take it then that the defense has nothing to add. So, the gallant yokel student's luck has finally run out. I can't say I'm surprised. In that case, I'm ready to deliver my final verdict on this matter. This is a crucial turning point now. If I can't establish what really happened, it's over. Where was the real culprit hiding? And how did he or she stab the victim? I know how!
Objection!
Your Excellency, I respectfully ask for you to postpone your adjudication for the time being. Oh, to what end, counsel? The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. An alternative theory that can explain who the victim actually was trying to implicate with her dying gesture. An alternative theory? None exists. There was someone else present at the scene who could have committed this crime. What? And the victim, Ms. Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time by mustering all her strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction. This is fiction. Fantasy! Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, counsel, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Taro Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? You will present your latest theory to the court by means of this plan. At the precise moment the victim was stabbed, where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? I hope this works, but...
Take that!
Naruhodo-san would never give up, and I am a Naruhodo now. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here. Are you mad, counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut? What? Order, order, order! But the student lawyer, Naruhodo-san's Esquire, that makes no sense at all. You've just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoops snapped. But I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about, I can swear to that. Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there was no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside the hut. Actually, that's bullshit. And, in point of fact, the defense can prove evidence strongly suggesting that this is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed. You're bluffing. You're bluffing, you yokel. The defense's assertion clearly is too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, counsel. What piece of evidence corroborates your theory that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut? What single piece of evidence corroborates my theory? This is hard. I don't know how to substantiate my theory. I need help. Like, it could be this. Because of this, right? It could be that. That's probably the best option, right? But it also could be this too. So I'm gonna say the crime scene photograph. I'm gonna say the crime scene photograph. Agreed? Agreed.
Take that!
The original photographic print of the crime scene. Yes, it's clearly visible in the print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut. Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of such thing, of any such thing. I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to. Counsel, once again, I must call on you to be explicit for the court. Where on this photograph is the trace of the stabbing which you claim took place from outside the hut? Oh, Your Honor, take that. Look closely, just here. In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds. No, it can't. I can't see any such thing. It is true that the hut in question had four walls. Wait, what is love? What is love? Sorry, what? Anyway, it is true that the hut in question had 4 walls, as you would expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them. This is extraordinary. Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. And of everyone present at the scene, there was only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Raiten Minimomo-san. It could only have been you. Oh.
Objection!
This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Just look at the photograph again. The victim lies almost exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not? Are we to assume that as part of this farcical scenario, that the assailant was a knife thrower?
Objection!
No, of course not. We're not. If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death, inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. A stool? Have another look at the photograph. There's the slit in the read screen would align perfectly with the back of a person who was sitting on that stool. My word. So in fact, the victim was killed while sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back delivered through the read screen. Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively, but then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut before the defendant Minbami-san's appalled eyes. And that, Your Excellency, is the truth of what happened on the beach that day. But your silence, Minimomo-san. I take it that you don't deny the charge? This is absurd! That will do. It would appear that we have a tactic admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Minbami-san, is innocent of the crime. Oh, thank goodness. I finally made him cave. I must say, I've never been more proud. No, this can't be. The Auchi clan can't. What of my growth? My growth of hope. It was all an apparition. I can't accept this. I won't. I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. Oh. Uh-oh. Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedoms to speak and branding them as criminals? But we've established the victim was stabbed from outside the hut through the reed screen walls. And no one but you was in place at the time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction. So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Was he wearing gloves? You could check this for fingerprints. Oh, that technology doesn't fucking exist, does it? Oh, no. Oh, no! Oh, fuck. But what about the poison? No, we still have more questions here. No. This isn't done yet because I need to figure out why this ink is on his hand, first of all. I need to figure out why the ink is on his hand. I need to figure out why the toxin is in this pen, right? I still think she consumed poison. Because we haven't talked about this glass. We still haven't talked about this. We haven't talked about this. Yeah. Yeah, there's just not enough information, I don't think. Now, this chemical reagent. I need to think about where I'm going to test it, too. Well, it seems a little irrelevant now. Irrelevant. Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed, it doesn't matter. I mean, whether or not she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it. He's right. He's right. He's right, unfortunately. You know why? You know why he's right? He's right because I don't think she died to a stab wound at all, did she? She died from the poison. After all. This trial's already shown the whole thing hinges on something else. What are you talking about? Brace yourselves, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed because of that dirt you dug up. What? Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, witness. What's there to explain? I'm talking about the poison, of course. Yep. The poison? Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that a deadly poison you were developing was stolen from your laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right? That is correct. The unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used. I see, I see. So presumably that means that the victim was already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too. Given her pupils were clearly constricted, it would seem highly likely, yes. If she had been dead already, the poison could not have circulated in her body. Tisha. How refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind. Precisely. Whether or not, it matters not a jolt who stabbed whom. Wait, actually, hold on. Hang on. Wait a minute, listen to me. Come here. Let's talk about this for a second. Come here, look at me. If you stab somebody who was already dead, what is that? Like, is that a crime? Like, what is that? Like, what did you do? Like, what did you do? Like, they're dead. Desecration of a corpse? So if I went to court because they thought I killed somebody, but they were already dead and I didn't do it, I get charged with... Can somebody look into that? Like, what is that? Does my intent matter? Is the fact that I thought that they were alive? Does that matter? Did I have harmful intentions that I'm gonna get like prosecuted for? I don't know that. Can someone look into that? Isn't that interesting? I don't know. I stabbed somebody who was already dead. But then how did she get up? Or, I guess in this case, if she was poisoned by somebody else. Does it matter? Like, well, how do you determine what ended the life? Was it the stabbing or was it the poison? And is that like semantic at that point? Like, if somebody poisoned me, like if Crew stabs me and Udon poisons me and I die to the poison first, like, does the stabber still get charged with murder? Because I already like this, you know what I mean? Or like a better question, like, okay, so if Mantis and Black Widow are shooting at Magneto and Mantis gets the last hit, does Black Widow go to jail? Like, what happens to Black Widow? Well, probably yes, but like, I wonder how that's like tried. Oops. Okay, my bad. The intent would be what mattered. If they were both trying to kill you, then I fear you should be charged. Interesting. Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's life was taken not by the knife, but by the poison.
Objection!
But that can be explained by the poison being on the blade. As I already
Objection!
forgotten already, have we, Yokel? During those very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that there was no poison on the blade. I imagine that the person attempting to kill you after your death would play a factor in that specific case. Yeah. So let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in this trial, turn out to be a headline-making red herring. Is that about right? Well... Order. But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body? There is an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it. What the fuck is imbibed? I'm assuming drank it or consumed it in some way, but like... These new ass words? What the fuck is this?
Imbibe.
Imbibed. Oh, like her Lune? Okay. Formal and humorous. Let's see. Drink alcohol. They were imbibing far too many pitchers of beer to absorb or assimilate ideas or knowledge. She imbibed the gospel of modernism from Kandinsky. Interesting. You mean she drank it? Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see, A bottle of carbonated water and a glass had been knocked onto the sandy floor of the beach hut. The poison could have been slipped into either. So somebody made Miss Brett drink it, and who was the only person who was aware of what that poison was? Oh no, that implicates us again. Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This will make a great front page shot. Hey, why the bewitching stare? After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at. It would make no sense at all that I poisoned the woman, wouldn't it? I mean, that's been established already. Established? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you've forgotten. It's a little hard to believe, given that the person who established it was you. Oh, he's kind of eating us up a little bit. Me? What on earth does he mean? There's only one person, two people that know about the poison? Oh, let me capture those wide eyes. This is prime press fodder, this is. It would seem that this trial is not destined to end yet, after all. I hereby call upon the witness to give further testimony. That's great, that is. Let me get another shot of that magnificent beer, Your Excellency. You claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. You will explain to the court in your testimony the basis upon which you made such a claim. However, she did vocalize the poison at the interview, right? Didn't she vocalize it when talking with what's his name? With our dad? Which is what made the... No. The fact that this poison article even exists suggests that somebody had a scoop. So he did know about it. So this is, I already know the contradiction. I'm a journal and I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life. And I'm not about to start now because that's minimalism. For a brief moment, I thought he illuminated the truth. That I'd illuminated the truth, but it slipped right back into obscurity again. Just where is this trial gonna take us? I know exactly what you're gonna say, buddy. I already got the evidence prepared. Oh yes, I stabbed the Englishwoman. And it is that very fact that proves I'm innocent. Because why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her? When I heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat. If the courts weren't going to punish Brett for what she did, someone else would have to see justice done. What the fuck? So you admitted then that everything happened as I described? That you are the one who stabbed Miss Brett in the back through the read screen? You can blame this miserable country of ours. The country that bows to the pressure of foreign powers and lets murderers walk free. What kind of future can a country leave like that? That's why I did it. I did what our pathetic leaders didn't have the guts to do. Slap bang in the middle of that charming lady's back, I plunged the blade of sweet justice right in there. Oh my god. As someone who spends his life seeing that the truth is told, I feel really, really awful about giving false information in my testimony before. But as it turns out, there was someone else who had it in for the victim that got to her before me. That's right, you guessed it. That pretty little student girl. Now there's a woman after my own heart. You're implicating Ray again. She's the one who gave the poison to the Englishwoman and ended her pitiful existence. And suddenly, snap, the journal here is off the hook. The argument is sound, certainly. If the witness had administered the poison himself, he need only have waited for it to take effect. Subsequently, stabbing the victim in the back would have been entirely nonsensical. And therefore, this reporter has nothing to do with the poisoning. Yes, it's all quite logical. is this in the paper? It wasn't poison found inside the... Well, then this is simple. All we need to do is just see if the chemical reagent reacts with the liquid that's inside this fountain pen, right? Because this is his pen, correct? Which is probably why he has ink on his hand, right? Which connects all my pieces of evidence, which means, and there we go, guys. It's time for us to get in bed. It's simple, right? That's right, it is. Logical and true. I'm glad you all seen the light. Justice at last. This is unbelievable. After I'd made so much progress in proving his guilt, is he going to get away with it now? Lock in, girl. Think of Kazuma-sama and Naruhata-san. They never stopped looking away, looking for a way forward into the judge's final gavel. Very well then, counsel. Proceed with what I assume to be your final cross-examination in this trial. Yes, Your Excellency. Why is he still standing there? Oh yes, I stabbed the Englishwoman. It's that very fact that proves that I'm innocent. Hold it! Bro, you be stabbing people? What's going on with that? The woman's very existence offended my sense of justice. Your sense of... what? He's claiming some sort of righteous indignation? She was pure evil, a cold-blooded killer who committed murder right here on our Empire's soil. But did our good-for-nothing government do anything? Not a chance. So I had to step in. Fly the flag of justice. Put things right for the people. Yes, it was my civic duty. That's what drove me to do it. So, in summary, murderous intentions then? Whatever you want to call it. The point is this. That Englishwoman was a blight, so I had to do what was right for society. Yet a real wrong was done by the student girl in the dock, a crime for which she must pay. Obviously, because the poisoning was nothing to do with me at all. Because why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I'd already poisoned her? I mean, I could present the evidence right now, but I won't.
Hold it!
So you still maintain that you didn't give the poison to the victim? Obviously, that'd be like putting a belt on your trousers when you're already wearing braces like these. The accused administered the poison, following which this witness stabbed the victim. An unforgivable act, certainly, but not one of murder. That crime rests on the accused's shoulders. That's how the law works, you see, yokel. Who knows? You may even learn something here today. 2 consecutive attempts on her life in the space of minutes? Quite a day for the victim. Do something evil, and you've got it coming. That's how the law works. The law of reckoning. That's not the kind of law this court upholds. You will reiterate why you were compelled to stab the victim, then, witness. When I heard the student girl and that pompous English murderer arguing, it got my goat. Hold it! What exactly were they arguing about? About what happened in the restaurant 9 months ago, that's what. The student girl was laying into the Englishwoman for killing her beloved mentor, Dr. Wilson. Yes, Dr. John H. Wilson, a professor of medicine invited here from England by Professor Mikitoba, no less. Right. But the Englishwoman just jeered. Her case was to be heard by the British Consular Court in Shanghai. However, there is little doubt that she would simply have been acquitted and sent back to her homeland a free woman. Oh. It was eating that student girl up inside. You could see it. I really felt for her. Yeah, don't speak for me, bitch. Hold it. I can't. I really can't. I can't stand here and listen to this bullshit. Ray, young girl, you stand accused here. You can't just blurt out whenever you feel like it. No, you can't. Sorry, but I'm in the middle of some very important testimony here. Just keep quiet and listen. But this awful man is making all of this up. Susato, please, you have to make him listen. Return to the dock at once, Mimbani-san. We are in the middle of a cross-examination. Hold it! Your Excellency, please, I implore you. That journalist is clearly not a trustworthy witness. Exactly, he's a filthy, rotten, black-hearted, bigoted, dirty, peeping Tom. Great peeping Tom. Whoa, take it easy there. Please, I really think the court should hear what the defendant has to say. Your Excellency, I see no need whatsoever to entertain the accused's remarks. I will grant the request of the defense. But Your Excellency, this is likely to be the final cross-examination of these proceedings. As such, I believe it would be ill-advised to stifle the defendant's obvious concerns. So, while it's recognizing that this contravenes regular protocol, I hereby call upon the defendant to speak. Oh, thank you so much, Your Excellency. It was nothing to do with Dr. Wilson. We were discussing the stolen poison. Hold it! The stolen poison that killed the victim, you mean? I suspected her of being the one to steal it. I mean, just think about how she killed Dr. Wilson. Okay, so do you see what I'm saying earlier, actually? Remember I was saying about, like, reading text and, like, glancing at it first and then reading it out? Like, this doesn't read like a question, right? Or, like, the stolen poison I killed the victim. You mean, right? Like, I would have to have known that that was a question first in order to, like, you know, enunciate the sentence properly. But if I didn't look at the sentence, I wouldn't be able to do that. So then I have to sound it out weirdly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've been practicing. I've been researching this because this is the whole thing. This is the whole thing. I watched a whole like 30-minute video about it. Anyway, that's true. Additionally, Miss Brett certainly had knowledge of the new poison, but surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin that's being developed by the government for the government. I just have anxiety that makes you read things first before saying them out loud. I feel that sometimes when I'm reading chat, like, what if somebody like says something like really bad and I just like read it too quickly, right? That's why I got, like, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm working on it. Like, I'm working on it, shut up. Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be difficult. Yes, that's true. I pestered Professor Miyatoba until he agreed to ship me the poison when I visited his laboratory. But as I left, I was searched from top to tail. Miss Brett rather bluntly revealed the existence of the toxin we'd been developing, you see. And since Soseki-san expressed such an interest in it, I felt unable to refuse. Obviously, I gave nothing away, other than the fact that it was an extremely potent substance. I'm very ashamed of myself. It's just that I've had a singularly terrible experience with the deadly poison. I wanted to look my old enemy in the eye. Surely you can understand that. To find out if my suspicions were true, I confronted Miss Brett about the poison. I told her that if there were an incident involving it somehow, it wouldn't just be the university. The military would be dragged into it. The whole government even. It would be a complete disaster. And how did Miss Brett respond to your concerns? She just curled those beautiful lips of hers and she said she didn't know the first thing about it. In English, actually. Yes. Mini Memo-san, one question if you don't mind. I do mind. Can't you see I'm busy? Do you understand English, buddy? Wait a minute. Do you understand English? Clearly, you were outside the beach hut listening in while as the defendant and Miss Brett were conversing. Presumably then, it was you who wrote this article about what you heard? That's what I'm saying. That was mine. You stole my evidence. That's what I was gonna do. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. The story was published this morning in this morning's edition of Shoyu News. The details are too accurate for it to have been written by anyone else. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, look at this. This entire article is almost exactly what I said to Miss Brett, word for word. Well, Minimomo-san. As a journal and as a citizen of a free country, I don't have to reveal my sources. That is the founding principle of Mini-Memoism. But who else would... Father's clearly right about this. That reporter did write that article, and he based it on whatever he overheard from outside the hut. The details of the poison article have been updated in the court record. Well, thank you! You are sweet! So that's what it was about. You were trying to cover up the fact that you were listening in. That's why you came up with that stinking story about me arguing with her. Shut up. My stories never stink. Look, whatever you say, little girl, it doesn't alter the facts. Okay, Your Excellency, there's something I want to say, and I want it to go on record. Very well, you may amend your formal statement. The point is, if you poison someone, there'd be no reason to then go and stab this person as well.
Hold it!
Hold it. Hi, Triforce. Perhaps you've doubted the efficacy of the poison and sought to make sure that the victim would die. That's horseshit. What? That would be like pouring pepper on your Chinese ramen before you even tasted it. Completely reckless. Although, it might surprise you to learn that I'm a bit of an impetuous pepper pourer as it happens. Once the victim has taken the poison, she would have only been minutes away from her death. And yet, this man proceeded to stab her in the back as well. There has to be a good reason for that. I mean, I see the reason right there, girl. The reason is right here. A poison-laced blade. There's no poison on the blade. Okay, well, fuck you, Scott. Like, it's just fuck. If we don't fucking test this stupid ass fucking juice or whatever, I'm gonna take this reagent and I'm gonna fucking splash it on everybody in the next 20 minutes. Okay, like in the next 10 seconds if I don't get some fucking answers. Okay. Let me look. If it was the reporter who gave the poison to Miss Brett, then clearly he must have done it prior to Ray entering the hut. Yes, that's undeniable. But between him leaving the hut and the victim being stabbed, there's one very crucial change in the situation. Hang on. This is important. Once the victim has taken the poison, she would only have minutes away from death, and yet this man proceeded to stab her in the back as well. There has to be a good reason for that. If the reporter who gave the poison to Miss Brett, if it was him, then clearly he must have done it prior to Ray entering the hut. Yes, that's undeniable. But between him leaving the hut and the victim being stabbed, there was one very crucial change in the situation. She sat down. What is the very crucial change in the situation? Sorry, what changed? The reporter overheard the conversation. Oh. Between Ray and the English woman. When the information presented to you is so good that you have to like Okay. That is when Mini Momo-san first found out the exact nature of the poison he had used. That could be the key here. If the victim had unwittingly taken the poison already, then the reporter would have no reason to stab her. On the face of it, that logic sounds entirely reasonable, but there's no question that this man was responsible for Miss Brett's murder. If we could think of a plausible explanation as to why he might have stabbed her even after the poisoning. I'm really like, I'm actually angry white woman jiffing right now. I'm actually angry white woman jiffing right now. What? Ah! Why would he do that? Oh! Why would he? If he heard that even the smallest amounts entering the body in the mouth were proof fatal, did she spit it out? Wait, did she spit it out? Was she like, ugh, and then like spit it out? Right? Cause she would like, bleh. Honestly, could she have like drank the fucking like drink and then been like, oh, what is this, Dasani? Bleh! And then like not consumed it? I don't know. Oh no. I actually don't know. Well, okay, then we have to establish how the, Okay, what we need to do is we need to fucking establish how she consumed the poison. Then how did the poison enter her body? We don't know that yet, right? Right? Exactly, right? We don't know how it entered her body. It's really important, right? No, we don't know. No, but I know how to communicate that to the game. That's not fair. Oh no. We need to. Oh no! I feel surely everything will drop into place. That's what we should be looking for. I agree. And in order to do that, I must glean for more information. Oh, fuck me. Oh, this man got me. Why would I have bothered to stab the woman if I already had poisoned her? I don't. Ah! No! As soon as I made a plea. Oh, absolutely do not tell me. Yeah. Fuck me! Fuck me. I need to find out what this liquid is. I need to find out what this liquid is. Fuck. Where is this poison even being held to? Oh, there's no information. Oh, I don't know what to do, y'all. Oh, it's cooked. I don't know. Oh, this is horrible. Oh my gosh. Maybe I just need to think about it for a second.
Hold it!
Thanks, Scott. Oh my god. This is pissing me off.
Hold it!
This is actually like, how do I communicate this though? Oh shit. This one's a good one. Okay. All right.
Hold it! Like what would make the poison not work? What would make the poison not work? I have an idea. I have a bit of an idea. I have a bit of an idea. Like, I have a bit of an idea. I could imagine that she could have tried to save her life. I mean, if it's assumed that she tries to save her life here, right, and remove the knife from her back, then if she knew if she was poisoned or something, then she would have tried to help her out, right? If she died to the poison, then the only people who knew of its existence could use it. But so then why, like, I think there's poison in here. There's a white liquid in here, right? Or a clear liquid in here, right? It looks like Rhyme Team photo. What would have stopped the poison from working? I mean, she has the pin. Why does she have this? Why does she have this? Did he... How does she have his pen? can't she have that? Ugh. Shit. Like, but I don't know how the poison entered her fucking body. How did the poison enter her body? That's so important. Why does he have ink on his hand? It's something with this damn pen. No, he tried to interview her, but she said no. When he first overheard the conversation between Ray and the Englishwoman, Sorry. No, because why? Stop. Shut up. Because why does it matter? If he found out the nature of the poison he had used, why wouldn't he already, like, it doesn't matter. He already used it. Right? Who cares when he found out he already used it? But I don't think there's anything that suggests that what she was drinking could have counteracted it. So who cares? This is crazy. Who cares? Who like, the only reason why I think he would have stabbed her, like, he had murderous intent, right? Why would he have doubted the effectiveness of the poison? He must have had some reason to believe that it wouldn't work, right? But why wouldn't it have worked? Because of the conversation. Well, yeah, let's read the details of the poison. Even the smallest amount entering the body, either via mouth or via wound from a poison-laced blade, could prove fatal in minutes. Is it because maybe he didn't spike the drink? Maybe he tried to poison her through skin-to-skin contact? Maybe he tried to poison her in a different way? If the liquid is inside the pen, I don't know what's in this fucking pen. There's another page too.
Onset of victims occurs within minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with an acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Oh. Wouldn't... Sorry, I thought for a second. I thought, like, wouldn't she have seen... No, she said that, didn't she? Didn't she say that she saw that the... that the... Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to. Let's try it.
Objection!
I can think of one reason. What? But before I explain, I'd like to confirm something to the court. Did you glean all the information for this newspaper from what you heard outside of the hut? Hi, Jakey. Of course he did. There could be no question of that. After all, we were all in a laboratory together. All we were told is that it was a terrible toxin. And there's one more important fact to consider. According to the witness, Membani-san's verbal attack against the victim began as soon as she entered the hut. In other words, it would have to have been impossible for her to have slipped the poison into Miss Brett's drink.
Objection!
Where are you going with this, counsel? Well, yeah, because how could she even have poisoned her? Minimemo-san has made it quite clear that he observed every single thing that happened inside the beach hut. If the defendant had somehow had an opportunity, this man would have seen it. Which means that Miss Brett couldn't have imbibed the poison while the defendant was present. In fact, it must have been administered to her before Membani-san entered the hut. Yes, very articulately put. When I entered the hut, I immediately started to press Miss Brett about the poison. At which point, Minimemo-san overheard some worrying information. Worrying information? What worrying information? The information which he subsequently included in his newspaper article, namely, that the poison was being developed in secrecy and that it couldn't be readily obtained. Absolutely. In fact, it's quite an understatement. The only place it could come from is my lab. And furthermore, anyone afflicted by the poison would exhibit telltale signs in death. The extreme constriction of the pupils. Yes, it's quite stark when you see it. There are other poisons that show similar symptoms, but none among new substances that are undetectable. In other words, it would be clear that the victim's life had been ended by the use of this particular poison, which would reduce the number of suspects to only a handful of people. Everyone in my laboratory is aware of the unique properties of the toxin we've been developing. None of them would be foolish enough to attempt to use it for some nefarious deed, Membani-san being no exception. Therefore, we can conclude that whoever administered this unique poison to the victim was a lay person, unaware of its telltale properties. In other words, someone like you, Brighton Mini Memo. It was you who stole the poison from that lab that day. And it was you who administered to the unwitting victim. But you quickly realized that that was a terrible mistake, because the poison caused such unusual symptoms and was so traceable. As you listened in from the far side of the beach hut's thin walls, you learned these facts. But you had already given the victim the poison at that point. It was too late. So you hatched a plan to disguise your mistake. A plan that involved stabbing the victim in the back through the read screen. But what good could that possibly do? Isn't it obvious, Counsel? The plan was to kill Miss Brett before the poison could take effect. Once in the blood, the poison causes the onset of pupil constriction. But he had hoped to precipitate the victim's death before that happened, hadn't he? Exactly. Because without revealing any signs of the new secret poison's use, no one would have ever suspected. This is extraordinary. Yes, the effects of the poison meant that it would be too easily identified. So the killer had to mask its use, which he attempted to do by plunging a knife into the middle of the victim's back. Order, order, order! The argument presented is sound. The court is satisfied that it warrants consideration. Does the prosecution have a counter-argument it wishes to put forward? Well, there is a number of... I mean, yes, I counter completely. The prosecution's evasive response clearly shows that in much the same way as he nurtures the remnants of his top knot, he's clinging to lost hope. Lost hope? Ugh. You pathetic, useless, fallen samurai. Fallen? Who are you calling fallen? My burgeoning growth is on the rise. I don't need a counter argument. What? What are you talking about? It should be blatantly obvious. I stole the poison, you say. Gave it to the victim, you say. Stabbed her, you say. Lots of fine theories. But I don't need a counter argument because you don't have an argument yourself. Where's your evidence? Yes, you make it all sound so plausible, don't you? But without evidence, it means nothing. Whereas I base my news on facts. Facts? What do you mean? Explain yourself. I mean, what the professor said earlier in this trial. It's all here in my many memos. Every word, every slip of the tongue, all noted. That is what Shoyo News is famous for. It's the power of the printed word. But surely it would be no easy task to steal a highly secret toxin being developed for the government. Indeed, all visitors to the laboratory are thoroughly searched when they leave. Even if a thief managed to avoid being seen by myself or a colleague, getting the poison out would be very difficult. How's that then? Blown the story wide open? See, I, Brighton Mini Memo, a mere reporter from Shoyo News, couldn't possibly have stolen that poison from the professor's laboratory. Girl, why don't we just like use the reagent on the pen? But there can't be any question of it. He must have stolen the poison that day. He stole it and used it to kill. And if that's the case, as you've identified, the poison itself, it's the definitive evidence we need. Because whoever stole it from the laboratory that day is the true culprit here. What's your point, you annoyingly handsome country bumpkin? My point is this. There is one way that you, Mini Memo-san, could have stolen the poison that day. I have heard enough verbal conjecture now, thank you. What the court must be shown is evidence. What proof do you have that this witness stole the poison on that day in question?
Take that!
The proof, Your Excellency, is this fountain pen. A fountain pen? How could that possibly be relevant? These magical pens somehow seem to have enough ink to write many thousands of kanji characters. I believe they arrived in our country for the first time some 15 years ago now. Bah! I swear by a weasel hair's calligraphy brush and nothing else. These newfangled pens are merely a fad. Well, as a forward-thinking man of words, I obviously love my fountain pen. Suck up a soup con of sumptuous ink, and one's work is awash with words in the blink of an eye. That's right. Fountain pens have a small reservoir in the barrel, into which ink is sucked up through the nib of the pen in order to write with ladder. What does all this sucking up ink have? And just as it's possible to suck up ink into the reservoir, it's also possible to eject it through the nib again, of course. My word. Can this really be? Well, Mini Memo-san? When you saw the deadly poison before your eyes in the laboratory that day, you used your fountain pen, your very lifeblood, to steal some of it, didn't you? By siphoning the poison through the nib and onto the pen's reservoir.
Objection!
More absurdity. That's never happened. True, we've heard that there were procedures in place to prevent thefts like this from the laboratory. But would anyone have thought to look inside a fountain pen of all places? No. I'm a little ashamed to say. That for fear of offending our guests, such a detailed search would not have been concluded. Well, this is quite startling, I must say. I remind the court that this pen was found in the clutches of the victim when she died. In other words, it was dropped at the scene by Mini Memo-san. So, the crucial question is, what exactly was the pen dropped? Are you suggesting? The natural conclusion is that in your haste to act while the victim was distracted for a moment, you dropped the pen after you emptied the poison into her glass. There could be any number of alternate explanations. For example, the witness could have been using his pen to write down details of his conversation with the victim. Earlier he said he doesn't use pens, but... And when shocked by one of her outrageous answers, the pen fell from his quivering hand. No, that can't be. If it was, how do you explain that the pen was devoid of ink? What? As you can see for yourself if you examine the evidence, there would appear to be no ink present in the reservoir. What newspaper reporter goes to some interview with nothing in his pen? No. The pen was dropped after the poison filled its reservoir had been emptied into the victim's glass. Witness, what do you have to say in your defense? So this is how the modern justice system works, is it? So what if the ink of my pen runs dry? So what if the pencil snaps? I could always claw my way back into the game. I have plenty in reserve. Oh. You claim I sucked up the poison into my pen? That's wild speculation, nothing more. If you thought you could bring me down... If you thought you could bring down a fine, upstanding citizen with a trick like that, think again. It looks as though it's going to take one final decisive blow to finish this matter. As I see it, the situation now is very simple. It rests upon whether or not this victim did steal the poison on the day in question, and therefore, it all depends on whether or not the defense can prove he did with evidence. No such evidence could possibly exist. Yo, go get the constable ready, quick. We got a prison cell we gotta fill up. Hold on, okay, come on. Who's ready to gag it? Press 1 if you're ready to gag it.
Objection!
Mini Memo-san, this is how our modern justice system works. What? In this courtroom, evidence is everything. Something you would do well to remember. Because we are well past the point of speculation at this stage, I assure you. Very well then. I call upon the defense to present the aforementioned evidence. This is it then. This will be the final piece in the puzzle. The defense can prove by means of this item that it was the witness's pen that was used to steal the poison. All right, say it with me now. Take that! Counsel, what the fuck is that? This bottle contains the unique chemical reagent that can identify the poison in question. Yes, that poison is an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids developed by my colleagues and I. It would be impossible to detect traces of it by any other method. Or, from another perspective, simply with this chemical reagent, anybody at all could check for traces of the poison. A reagent? What? One drop of the contents of this bottle on the tip of your fountain pen, Mini-Minimo-san, is all it would take to solve this case beyond all reasonable doubt. Are we gonna see a breakdown? No, you can't. I won't. Your crimes are bad enough. But at least know when to admit defeat. Your Excellency. The defense requests permission to carry out the test on the fountain pen at once. Oh my god. This isn't my fault. The Empire drove me to this. Trying to uphold its head high in a simple situation. What? Oh, oh, oh. Susato, with me. What? Did I do it right? That was a Susato takedown, wasn't it? Not quite. That was a Rui Toro's takedown. Wait, that spin? Why did she pirouette in? Why did she pirouette in? The instant the first drop of the reagent touched the nib of the fountain pen, it was clear to everyone present. When I saw it there in the lab, the poison, the devil got hold of me and I decided to do it on a whim. I excused myself and emptied all the ink down the sink in the bathroom, washing the reservoir out carefully. And then you waited for an opportunity to suck up some of the poison, didn't you? Into your fountain pen. Yes, that's right. Answer me one thing, Mini-Minimo-san. Why did you steal it? For what purpose? Isn't it obvious? To find out what it was made of and expose it in an article. I mean, it was a secret project after all. Too juicy for a general like me to pass up. Then why did the Englishwoman end up dead? I went into that hut intending to quiz her on the situation, that's all. As a reporter. A known killer, enjoying full freedom, evading justice by leaving the country. I told her what I thought about it. And she just laughed in my face. Oh, what's this? A Far Eastern caveman purporting to practice journalism? Really, you must learn the difference between reporting and listening at doorways, you ignorant plebeian. What did you call me? This country, with its pretensions to its justice system, to a free pass, it's really very depressing. You see, in our superior ways in the West, yet you lack. I'm gonna read again. This country, with its pretensions to a justice system, to a free press, it's really very depressing. You see our superior ways in the West, yet you lack the mental capacity to emulate them. Get out of here, you oaf. Get out and crawl back to the cave you came from. Oh my god! That's when I remembered.
about the deadly poison I happened to have in my pen at the time. What a terrible tale. In my head, I knew I should just get out of there as quickly as possible, but I couldn't. I couldn't let her get away with what she'd done, when she clearly had no remorse at all. I suppose it was in my journal spirit, getting all fired up. I'd like to ask you something. Yes. You often talk about justice, but surely as a journalist, you could have just used other means to deliver justice you sought. There's no justice in the press. Sorry? After that trial 9 months ago, I kept digging and digging to find out what had happened in the courtroom. And finally, I discovered the truth. It was a cover-up. That's what it was. A cover-up? What do you mean? I would remind you of your position, witness. Be careful of what you say. Oh, come on. Doesn't it strike you as strange? We're suddenly not allowed to convict a foreign national? Consecular jurisdiction should never have come into it. And yet that puffed-up Englishwoman was going to sail away to sunset as a free woman. The only possible explanation is that behind the scenes, some deal had gone on between Japan and Britain. What sort of deal? I'd done my research, dug up the dirt. It was all ready to be published. But you know what happened? The editor just tore up the article. He came under pressure from the government. You mean? If our government is going to let criminals walk free, if they're going to crush the free press, then what choice do I have but to see that justice is done myself? Let's not forget, Minimomo-san, that you committed murder yourself and you tried to lay the blame on the defendant's door. I'm sorry, but you're no better than Giselle Brett. Oh. What? The truth is, you have no right to talk about justice at all. I suppose. It would appear that we have reached a conclusion in this trial at last. Counsel for the defense, Ryutaro Naruhodo. Oh, yes. Sorry, Your Excellency. I was just musing in a manly way here. It's almost unbelievable that this is your first experience in the court, Supreme Court. It was an excellent performance. In truth, it very much reminded me of your cousin's exploits. Oh, Naruhodo. Ryunosuke, you mean? The way he handled the trial 9 months ago, and the way you handled this one, it gives me hope that we are genuinely entering a new era of justice in this land. Girl, that doesn't happen until Dual Destinies. I'm sorry, that does not happen until Dual Destinies. That's very flattering, Your Excellency. Hearing the defense you put forward today made me feel almost keenly that the future of our justice system will be forged by you and your contemporaries. Thank you. So, Prosecutor Ouchi, do you have any final thoughts? Don't. Prosecutor Ouchi. I, Takasuchi of the Ouchi clan, have been bested by a callow youth, not once, but twice. If there was any shred of my former self left, it has been withered, and it died here today. Don't do it! Gosh, your journey to cultural enlightenment sure took a while, didn't it? Silence! Rather than living on in shame. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do it. Don't do it. I will end it all with this blade. No! For it is the true path to Aochiism. Aochiism? He's gonna Kate Marsh. One hopes that's the only way in which he'll be modeling himself after the witness. Sprig of my top knot. The time is right for a farewell. Hope is lost forever. Takatsuchi. No! A moment of silence. That's what A should have did in front of her country when she that's what she should have did. If she was really sorry about that fucking Vision Hunt decree, that's what she should have did, but she didn't. Well, whatever. In regards to the defendant, Ray Mimbani-san. Yes, Your Excellency. I have reached my final verdict. I hereby find you not guilty. Miss Miller. The courtroom. Actually, Miss Miller. Miss Miller. Actually, that's so funny. Let me find it, actually. Wait, what the fuck? Miss Miller. Where's it at? Oh, hold on. Oh, hang on. Where's it at? What the fuck is it? Where's the scene?
Mr. Rasmussen, you are not the father. Miss Miller.
Man, I found not guilty.
Respectful. I'm sorry. Miss Miller.
I'm sorry.
That's a lot of nerve considering the alternative is somebody that don't want nothing to do with you or your child. Mr. Rasmussen, you.
It's sad, but it's really funny. I'm sorry. It's still funny. Court is adjourned. It's over. My heart is still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do. Just standing here. Wait, what? It's all I can do just standing. Wait. My heart is still pounding in my chest, though. It's all I can do just to stay standing. Sorry. Lawyers have such great responsibility. Such a great burden to bear. Don't they, Naruhodo-san? Susato. Thank you so much. You were so dashing in there. Ray and Father. Honestly, I'm so touched by everything you've... Oh no, I think I'm gonna cry. It wasn't easy, but together we made it. I was on the verge of tears in the end too. The only reason I'm still here is because of you. Oh no, I can't take all of the credit. It took courage to tell the truth in there. You did wonderfully, Ray. So I would have to say that the congratulations belongs to you.
Susato, don't be so standoffish. Sorry? We're friends, equals, and the trial's over. So no more with this formal super humility nonsense. It's time to celebrate with swagger. To throw caution to the wind. Caution to the... What? I am the great defense lawyer, Ryutaro Naruhodo, and I'm taking you out to a milk bar tomorrow. Or something. Right, I see. I'll, think about it, Ray. At any rate, we really knocked wind into that horrid man, and it felt so good. Yeah, it was satisfying. It really was. Isn't there anybody else we could throw together? I hope you're not looking at me, Ray. Oh my goodness. Of course not. Of course not. There it is at last. Ray's lovely smile. You fought for your friend to the very last. As your father, I'm extremely proud of you. Defense Attorney Naruhodo Naruhodo. Fuck. Thank you, but I couldn't have done it without your help. Anyway, it's time to bid farewell to Ryutaro, I think. I shall miss him in a way, but it's back to Susato Mikitoba for now. So, I'll never see him again then? What a terrible shame. What? Who is yelling? What happened? What? Oh, Alvin Cheese. You didn't hear me, right? Soseki-san and Inspector Hasanaga, I hope you've been keeping well. Is that really you? Yes, I had to change my appearance for, well, obvious reasons, I hope, but it's me, Susato Mikitoba. I don't... So dashing, so divine. No. Doubly dashing. Or doubly dashing, yes. And devilishly divine. Just look at you. I had no idea, Susato-san Esquires, that you were locum student Naruhodo-san's Esquire's cousin. Astonishingly astounding ace attorney. Oh my. Poor Suseki-san, so confused. I still remember the first time I ever met him. He was in a prison cell in London. What an extraordinary conundrum that it was the unwitting student from Japan that it was the unwitting student from Japan found himself embroiled in. But after Naruhodo-san's skillful defense at the Old Bailey, Soseki-san was free to return to Japan. And now he seems to have earned himself great fame as an author. I'm stunned. That's a truly impressive disguise. Even I had no idea. And I'm a chief inspector of police of the police bureau. Who came up with Mr. Turtle, no less? I'm not sure you should be admitting to that, Inspector. Oops. Amazing. Your weapon of many faces it's icy. Just two, really. And this was a once-in-a-lifetime event, I hope. Oh, but I'm not a patch on you, though, Inspector. Well, I am a professional, of course. I do worry about Inspector Hasanaga sometimes. I really do. 9 months ago, when he appeared here at the Supreme Court to testify, he was undercover, disguised as a head waiter of the restaurant. And then, on the steamship to Great Britain, of course, disguised as a sailor to keep us safe on the journey. Though, that didn't help you, did it? Kazuma-sama. Kazuma-sama. From my perspective, I have to admit that I have mixed feelings about all this. I mean, now the truth has been lost forever. What do you mean? I'm talking about the murder that English woman committed at the end of last year. Ah, yes. She was an English doctor. It was an English doctor she killed, as I understand it. Dr. H. Wilson, yes. I am the man I invited to Japan personally. The mystery is, why did she kill him? And now that the culprit herself is dead, we'll probably never know the answer. On the voyage to Great Britain, we had a most unexpected encounter with Mr. Herlock Sholmes, the great detective, I mean. Yes, I remember Mr. Sholmes as well, of course. Are we gonna bring it up to Iris that her dad's dead? My arch nemesis, how lightly you utter his name. Well, according to the stories published about him in The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, the detective once had a partner who helped him solve crimes, a best friend. And that man was an exceptional doctor of medicine by the name of John H. Wilson. What? Dr. Wilson? I just can't believe that it's a coincidence. I think that the English doctor of medicine killed here in Japan 9 months ago must have been the friend and partner of Mr. Sholmes. And if that's really true, then the poor girl won't ever see her beloved father again. As you know, I traveled to Great Britain once myself to study. It was around the time that you were born. Yes, grandmother told me about it. On returning to Japan, I took up my professorship at the Imperial Yuma University, but I also served another role as an advisor to the government on diplomatic affairs. Yes, I was aware of that as well. In that case, I'm sure you understand that there are some confidential matters that I cannot divulge you to. Could you just tell me one thing? Why did you summon me back to Japan? It's been 2 months now since I returned. When I left England, it was because an urgent telegram had arrived from Japan. It said that you were collapsed with high fever, and that you were growing weaker by the day. What? Where did that news come from? That's what I would like to know, because after that long-ass fucking voyage, I found you in fine health, father. Was there something in Great Britain that you perceived might inconvenience me in some way, or harm me? That's really the only explanation I can think of. Dear me, do you reserve your most cutting glares for your father, Sosato? I'm sorry, my dear. I simply can't. Arg, let me go. Mini Momo-san. So one throw wasn't enough for you. I've got one last thing to say before they take me away. Professor. Me? I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. And that visiting student's fate. Visiting student? Giselle Brett, you mean? No, not her. The student of law who left for Great Britain 8 months ago. Oh, wrong one. Oh, wait, oops. What? What are you talking about? What does any of this have to do with Kazuma-sama? No one here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on that steamship, and that he'll never... Oh. Well, I didn't expect to find him in here. What are you officers playing at? Terribly sorry, Your Excellency. What are they hiding? I was coming to tell you that the rickshaw has arrived, Eugen. And it's and a good job I came by. Or it's a good job I came by. Yes, thank you for dealing with him. And I'll be there shortly. Oh, Your Excellency. The trial's over. I'm not Your Excellency anymore. Merely your father's friend. Saishiro Jigoku. And may I say that since I saw you last, you seem to have taken on a more dashing appearance, Susato. Oh!
Don't look at me. Oh, I don't need these middle-aged men. Just look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Did you know all along from the start of the trial? A judge sees everything, Susato. I couldn't let you take the risk. If say she were here, hadn't had known, and then he'd recognize you. Wait, what? I couldn't have let you take the risk. If Shishiro here hadn't known, then he'd recognize you. So I had a word in his ear beforehand, and as an old friend. Sensei Shiro, shall we? Yes. Having ruled on that case, we now have various diplomatic issues to address. Before you go, Father. Sorry, my dear. We shall have to return to our earlier conversation at a later date. But well done again, both of you. You did admirably. You are gonna die! Middle-aged? He's 43! He's 43! And I don't know how old the judge is, but my dad's 43, so... It's kind of aged quickly, huh? It's a lot of grays for 43. You're gonna die! Honestly, like, 07 to this dude. Like, 07 to this dude, he's dead. Like, he's, oh my god, he's just dead. He's got a connection to one of the main characters. He knows crucial information. He's got to leave suddenly somehow. He has answers that I need. It's 07. Bye. Oh, thank you very much. What did you think of my Seishiro sling, eh? It's been a while since I seen a man flying like that. Whatever could Father be hiding from me? We're never gonna fucking find out. About Giselle, Brett, about Dr. Wilson, and now it seems, according to the reporter, about Kazuma-sama. I'm gonna have to bring this up with Father sometime, when no one else is around. Girl. Can it be any more obvious? If he lives, I'm gonna be very surprised. Digital assistant Mikitoba-san Esquires, could I have a word? Oh, well, yes, Soseki-san, what is it? I think perhaps it could be fate that we're meeting again. Like this now. You see, there's something I need to tell you. Oh, I believe that it may be related to the reason why your father summoned you back from England. This I have to hear. Please, Soseki-san, tell me at once. I will. As you know, my time in England was dog shit. Cursed, I have no doubt. Such awful things that I was embroiled in. Thank goodness locum student Naruhito-san Esquire stepped in. After he secured my freedom, I couldn't wait to get on a ship back here to my homeland. Was there something weird with this? Having arrived in Japan, I submitted a report about my experiences to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The next thing I knew, I had a visitor. It was your father, Mikitoba. Professor Mikitoba. He wanted to ask me all sorts of things about my report. My father? He seemed especially taken with a particular part of the report. The prosecutor! Anyway, he left eventually, having thoroughly quizzed me. But it was the very next day that he sent the telegram to you, asking you to return to Japan. How do you know that? What was it then? The particular part that my father was interested in? I don't really know exactly. But do you remember them? Those two terrible cases that I was caught up in? Of course, I can never forget. Your father seemed to concern himself mainly with the second case. The second one? You mean the one Mr. Sholmes forbade us to talk about in the public? Which is why the only case involving you that any member of the public is aware of is the first. Well, I don't care. I don't have to listen to what dastardly detective says. Anyway, the point is, it seems that case somehow holds the key and all these curious unanswered questions.
That horrific, hideous, heinous case. The case of the haunted lodgings. That case somehow caused my father to summon me urgently back to Japan. I thought that whole business was over, but it seems I was wrong. Perhaps it was only the start. Perhaps the story is not yet told.
So, the mystery of that English woman's death is solved, thank goodness. And having stood in the Supreme Court now, I think I can comprehend a little better. How you must be feeling as you fight for people's freedom in a foreign land, Naruhodo-san. But actually, I'm writing to you today because of another matter. I met Soseki-san and we talked about that second case he was involved in. Father has said nothing to me, but I feel certain of it. That case holds the key to some great unsolved mystery. My notes on the case should still be in the office, tucked away at the back of the shelves on the left. Perhaps you might like to look over them again. Today, for the first time this year, it feels as though summer has arrived. The sky is a brilliant blue. It makes me long to see you again. Yours, Susato.
All right. Well, I don't want to... Jesus Christ, 20 save slots? I don't want to do another case, but I do want to see the opening of this next one. Hang on. Okay, yep. What's her name? Yeah. The one in my room. Isn't this the one with the cutscene? What happened here? What is this? Is this the whole case? What the hell are these? Skits! Oh, that's cool. Okay, what the heck? Oh, I was just looking for... Oh. What the hell are these?
あ、それって
What the fuck is she doing here?
ご先祖様とかいるのかも。
もっと驚こうよ、迷いちゃん。
どうやら時空がねじれたようです。あまり気にしないことです。それでは検察側は
He's not here. Everyone I see is gay ass here.
準備の方は
What is he doing here?
なんというか、僕弁護士なのですけど。
今日はいろいろな都合でそちらに立っていただきます。
何やら大人の都合のほのかな香りがいたしますね。
失礼ですけど、ケンジさん、あなたはどなたですか？妙に親近感があるような。確かに僕も同じことを考えていました。なんというか、とても他人とは思えないというか。
それではせっかくなのでお互い自己紹介を願いましょうか。
僕は弁護士のなるほどゆうのすけであります。
なるほど。お兄様では？何しろギザギザが多いですから。
生き別れの兄にはあいにく覚えがありません。聞いたことがあるぞ。僕の先祖に龍之介という名前の弁護士がいるって。
じゃあおじいさんは
僕のご先祖様？
So who's the
今さりげなくおじいさん呼ばわりでございましたね。
なんだか妙に老け込んだ気分です。
やっぱりそういうことだったんだ。お隣のあなたは私のご先祖様なんですね。おしとやかで凛としてて、まさに理想のご先祖様。子孫の綾里迷いです。私は法務助手の御言葉すさとでございますが。
完全に赤の他人だったね。
なんだろう、この強烈ながっかり感。なんだか申し訳ございません。せっかくですからこの際綾里家の先祖になってください。
girl? I don't know if that's
綾里すさと、確かに語呂は良いかと存じますが。
人類史上かつてない不条理なお願いをされましたね、すさとさん。
語呂はいいのにな、綾里すさと。
本日は逆転裁判15周年の1年間を振り返るものとします。
15周年ですか？
ええ、2001年初代
25 years!
誕生。それを記念してこの1年いろいろやってきましたね。
Wait a minute, did Pikmin, Animal Crossing, and Ace Attorney all came out the same year?
でっかいイベントをやったり、15周年特別法廷、あれは楽しかったよね。
ああ、15年という時の重さをみんなと噛みしめたってね。
一言よろしいでしょうか。
何ですか？
時の重さをかみしめる記念であるのならば、まずなるほど様の生誕100年以上こそ祝うべきではございませんか。
Oh?
100年以上？
やめましょう、佐藤さん。時が重すぎて床が抜けます。
いやはやまさに人生の先輩。ありがたやありがたや。
拝まれてしまいましたね。
気軽に明治を振り回すのは控えた方が良さそうです。
それに去年は舞台をやったり、
I never watched it.
もなったりね。いやー、私たちも毎週お楽しみ
It
だった
was
よ
really
ね。
Ace, wasn't it?
テレビ？
アニメ？
一体何のことか。一から説明してもらおうじゃありませんか。
100年の壁は分厚いみたいだな、やっぱり。
あ あと今年はあれもありましたね。オーケストラコンサート。なんと9年ぶりだったそうです。
So good. So good. I listened to that fucking album so many times. You have no idea how many times I listened to it. Oh my god, I listened to it so many times. Oh fuck, I was obsessed. Oh my god. Okay, listen. We don't talk about case 3 and Justice for All. Shh. We don't talk about it. We do not talk about it. Okay, they were just kidding. The one was a clown, right?
そしてつい先日8月3日のことでしたね。大日本帝国国民待望の大逆転裁判2ついに発売。
Oh wow, okay.
ありがとうございます。いやー、僕たちもしっかり遊ばせてもらいましたよ。
私だってすっかり感動しちゃったもん。
Where the fuck are the Ace Attorney games, by the way? Do these really take that long to make? Am I being presumptuous, or don't you just need to make a scenario and then just write some text with some pictures and animations? I feel like you could like roll one of these out like every 2 years. No? 3.
ご先祖様の方にもいろいろあったのでございます。
何しろ全てはご先祖から始まったわけです。いやはや、ありがたやありがたや。意義あり。
お言葉ですが、裁判長のただいまの発言は。
I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of animations. Like, there's not a lot to do.
どういうことですか？
実はさっきからずっと気になっていたんですけど、ご先祖様、ある種やけに滑らかに動いてますよね。あれ、そうかな。
I need you to. As I imagine you need the material to make these cases be engaging and not be stale.
ちなみに意義ありはどんな感じですか？意義あり。意義あり。さすがにそれは嘘でしょう。とにかくこのパカパカっぷり、僕としては
Sales
こっちこそが先祖であり元祖の気分です。反論できない。
つまりお互いが先祖であり、そして元祖である。
Okay, fine. 1 every 5 years. What about that?
時空がねじれるのも無理はございませんね。
それではそろそろ閉廷の時間です。
それで僕たちどうやって帰ればいいのですか？21世紀に。
明治の街をブラブラして時間を潰すというのはいかがでしょう？
大帝都東京は華やかですから。
This is supposed to be 3 games? Oh my god.
あっという間ですよ。どうやら何としてもあの一言を僕に言わせる流れみたいですね。
おお、先祖と元祖、夢の共演だね。それでは逆転裁判のさらなる発展を祈って皆様もご一緒に。せーの。
意義あり。迷いちゃ止めて。時代は回る。きっとそういうことですね。
それではまたどこかでお会いいたしましょう。
Oh. Well, hurry the fuck up, okay? It's been how many years now? It's been like fucking. How long? When did this game come out? 2021, I think, right? been 5 years. Okay, fine. The original dropped in 27. Wait, so when the fuck was the? It was the Spirit of Justice, right? Girl, don't no. 2016. It's been 10 years. Oh my god. It can't take 10 years to write a scenario and put some animations, right? No? When did this came out? This came out in 2017. ZZZ Dreams. Oh, her Mindscape 3 is so good. I don't know if I want to look. I don't know if I want to look. Guess who DM'd me? Guess who DM'd me? Guess who DM'd me? Guess the perfect person to DM me at the time of playing this game. Is it Jeff? No. I mean, that's every day, but Jay Stern, stop. But like, who's like the perfect person to DM me at a time of playing this? Scott. Anybody else that really likes Ace Attorney? Miles Edgeworth. Sansa! Sansa! Oh. Sansa! Oh my gosh. Yes! What the fuck? She was like, hey, happy New World. I'm like, oh my god, girl. I know. Oh my god. Okay, cool. So we are